really like what you said at the beginning was just you're getting reacquainted with yourself without any, I mean,
no signals, no other signals except
the only
yours.
signal is the one, and we could go into a whole long discussion of, is that you, the voice? But that's another conversation.
Hi, I'm Ian.
And I'm Megan.
Welcome back, or welcome to
the Memory Millionaires Podcast.
We are survivors of government service,
cancer,
world travel,
and parenting. We're here to share stories and insights to help illuminate your path towards a happier, healthier lifestyle.
Zoom 12. Oh, for the 12-hour walk, what?
What prompted you to wake up and go for a 12-hour walk on Thursday morning? Because we hadn't discussed it at all. You just woke me up at 6:30 in the morning to tell me you were going.
When I woke up, I ran through a bunch of things that I could do that day. When I had an appointment that got canceled, I expected a vasectomy. My vasectomy appointment got canceled. I couldn't get a ride. Well, I didn't plan well. I was going to go without a ride. But then I was politely informed by a friend who's had it done, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Especially with a stick car and driving from Tacoma. It's not a good plan. So the day freed up. And also, I had my body still. Because I was going to be out a body for, 2, 3, 5 days. Not the one I'm used to piloting around, at least. It's going to be a fine body. One that doesn't make babies anymore. Smiley babies. That you will probably hear in the audio because we have an infant. And we have to podcast with him. Anyway. The day freed up. My body was mine. And there were a few things I wanted to do before I was going to lose the ability to do them, and one of them... Not lose. Yeah, right. You're right. Not lose. But my ability to do something was going to be affected. Anyway, it was just where my mind state was. It was like, oh, what would I do if, what would I rather have been doing if I had no ability to do something? Well, I'd probably go on the 12-hour walk. I haven't done that yet. I finished the book like half a year ago, and within the book, there's talk of the impossible first. Your impossible first. His was the Grand Slam, the Explorer's Grand Slam, all 7 peaks, plus the North and South Poles. And when he did the South Pole, he happened to beat the world record for crossing it. Like, how many impossible firsts could he find himself? That was his motivation to go and do the things. And to me, our impossible first is Memory Millionaires being the way we earn a living, the way we support ourselves is the way we are. How that feels like an impossible first.
Memory Millionaires, impossible first, feeling
like my impossible first. What I would like to have a possible mindset within. And that's from the book. That's meant to be what the 12-hour walk helps you focus on. Is that impossible first. Removing and it's also an exercise that utilizes the same strengths you're going to need in order to do your impossible first. You're going to need some planning. You're going to need some preparation. You're going to need support. You're going to need a mindset, a possible mindset. So when things were spinning around in my head that were, how are we going to do this? And it was also when you and I are negotiating whether or not we invest in this. Do we invest in Memory Millionaires, or do we invest in Elevated Woman? Do we invest in H2L coaching? So I felt really scrambled, and I wanted something to, to leverage myself out of that heavy noise, heavy scramble. And I know what's useful for me is time in the forest and
Movement.
the 12-hour and movement, and the Port Gamble trails. It's just it's a magical place for me. It's where the Ian I thought I couldn't be, I became more than twice. Way more than twice.
I think that's a similar feeling I have for that area is that you would have told me 10 years ago that I would enjoy running and I would have laughed and said, no,
10 years
I
ago?
don't enjoy running.
Yeah.
And it just took that little change of how I approached running, of the place, honestly. And for me, the first place I was introduced to trail running outside of my main aha, this is great, which was on the Appalachian Trail. But the first time I actually started, okay, this is a practice I could do regularly, was Port Gamble trails. And that, it's magical.
I can tell more than 2 stories of doubt I had being removed by going and doing
In that,
the thing in that space and place, and the doubt being proven wrong, like categorically wrong. I doubt when we sat in those aid stations and were the people cheering on the runners who we doubted we could ever be. We've now gone completely around in a circle that we are now informing other people that they could be
do it.
the ones running in this race, and we'll be the ones still amazed by them because we know where they're headed. So the 12-hour walk for me was something that was, especially now, during 3 kids, a newborn, a athletic state where I'm not at my peak. I'm not prepared to go run a 50-miler. Maybe even a marathon would hurt. And I felt the 12-hour walk was accessible, but also plenty challenging. That I could go and do and remind myself that the doubt isn't correct ever. And also I wanted to remove the distractions, remove the phone, remove the noise of kids, remove the looking around at, expensive cars, wondering how those people afford to get those, or, a home's for sale, but it's already being bought by a whole family, that don't even have kids yet. How do they afford a $500,000 home? All this noise that I'm bringing onto myself. And the trail, walking, when I left the house, I had what I thought was enough food, because, rules of the walk are no phone, no people, just you, 12 hours.
How about your dog?
Nope, don't bring your dog. This is meant to be
The least amount of distractions possible?
the least amount of signals. The least amount of signals coming in and noise coming in to focus
Right.
on you. And having read the book, you will know some of these terms that you and I already know. I love you, Colin, but I nodded my head a lot to the book, and I moved through it quickly because I know some of these things from endurance events that we've done, because this is his perspective. I've done these endurance events. I was in a place you were once. People told me I was crazy for giving up my investment job. He was at some, just killer New York firm, and he had the choice of becoming a triathlete or diving into his, career. And he departed to go become a triathlete, and the rest is history. Look,
Right.
he's been everything that he thought he couldn't be.
So I think this book comes from a place of being more approachable to people who don't think that these feats are possible, right? Where
Right.
we have an idea of, we know these things are possible. For your average person, they think it's possible for someone else, but not necessarily for themselves.
Right.
And I think that's the message behind this book, is that anyone can go out and walk for 12 hours.
Well, I think even grandma could. She just has to take a lot of breaks.
I think most people can find a way to move their body for 12 hours in some form. But most importantly, without the noise,
Right.
without the input.
For the purpose of reacquainting yourself with yourself. I felt the need to do that. I wanted to reacquaint myself with myself. So I got a few things in a backpack.
Which were?
I'm laughing because I brought an amount of food that I would not have relied on for like a half days of running. You know, I would need some calories, you know, take some of the goos I know I like and stuff like that. I brought like not enough food at all. I brought a sandwich. I brought 2 bananas, an apple, and 2 of those little Costco
Muffins?
muffin.
Yeah, the Aussie Bites.
Aussie Bites. 2. 2 bananas. Like, I wanted to have eaten all of that by 10, but I
You had to ration it.
rationed myself off to, and what else? A headlamp and some business cards, because I thought, you know, if there's an opportunity to run into someone and they're just like, "What are you doing out here?" I'd drop a business card, and pen and a pad, because I really wanted to. Maybe you're not supposed to. I don't see it anywhere in the rules and the inspiration.
I don't think
I think it's important too.
I don't think this is an endeavor where the rules,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
right?
It's not. Yeah, it's not.
It's what
You've broke the rules. No one shall say of your name.
you didn't do a 12-hour walk. You broke the rule. You had a pen and pad.
Right. Probably technically, I didn't do 12. You know, 12. 0,
I
0,
think
0,
the
0, 0.
intention behind it is more important than, like, you left the phone.
No, I brought it with me.
You brought it with you.
And I kept it on driving mode, which I have some analogies that I love to use. And when I'm off on a walking meditation and called myself driving on my digital presence, I thought was pretty funny to me.
So you left while I was still asleep. And I just presumed where you might go, because I thought, where would I go if I was going to walk for 12 hours? Pretty much exactly what you did. I'd walk to Port Gamble.
Well, and the removing of noise, because let's say you live in New York and you need to walk for 12 hours. It's going to be difficult to remove stimulation from your walk. So, yeah, while I love and adore the Port Gamble trails, it also met the purpose, which was to remove yourself from as much stimulation as possible. And I think for anyone who's curious and interested, make that a priority. It's great to just walk out of your front door and get to that place, but if you can't do that, he says in the book that you should just do it from your front door. I would encourage someone to, if you need to go a little further, cross the bridge in our scenario, like in our area, and then launch from there. I would prioritize the ability to remove yourself. And I mean, forest bathe for 12 hours, it's terrific. It's just gorgeous. It started raining. You know, I thought it was actually going to be pretty tough, because I left in a raincoat and a hoodie and layers, because it was raining. It was pouring.
It turned into a beautiful day.
And it,
It
was that until I took a wrong turn. I took a wrong turn what I perceived was going to be a wrong turn. Like when I went this way on this access road, I wasn't on a trail. I was off a trail and on an access road, and just kind of. And I went that way, and I thought, oh, this has the big hill and the big nasty clearing that faces the road. I don't really want to go this way, but I'm already going this way, so I'll just go this way. I'll get over the hill and the clearing and stuff, and maybe whatever. I got to this what I thought was going to be ugly clearing, and as I exited the forest, I look up and a little glimmer of blue sky was showing, and I kept walking. I thought, oh, that's a good reminder. There's blue sky behind every cloud. Every storm has blue sky behind it. And I keep walking, and I'm getting a better mood because the forest is actually pretty beautiful around there. You can see more of the trees. You can see the colors changing, and you can see into a valley where the wind is just like whipping through, and it's pulling moisture up into the clouds. So you can see the water cycle happening in front of you. And I started geeking out over that, like, wow, that's so cool. And then it really parted. Like, I got a beautiful sunny day in that clearing for the walk through it. And when I got to the top, this is a hill. You can see Bond and that hill that goes up. So I came out of where bobsled is, and I came down into that clearing and went up the hill. At the top of the hill, I looked around, and I was in the only place that had sun. As far as my eyes could see, this spot that I called ugly became gorgeous, just gorgeous. And I wrote down some beautiful epiphanies within it. That was an opportunity afforded by the walk. There was many, 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 many opportunities to reflect on things. Death. We just had a death in the family, my grandmother, and it's causing strife and pain and sorrow and some relief and some gratitude. Like, it's kind of
it's a mixed bag of emotions.
It's a mixed thing. And being out there, I got to ask myself, what is Grandma's death mean to me? Is there a lesson? It was in that clearing that I gave myself a goal to have in that notebook by the time I got back, which was my knowns. What do I know? What could I defend till my dying breath? Something that I'm certain of. And I started writing. So you want me to share?
Yeah, absolutely. Now I want to let you know while you're looking for this in your notebook. I only checked on you 3 times while you were gone. First,
did it work? Yeah, it showed my position. That was the other purpose of me leaving it on not airplane mode, was so that she could see.
Checked on you 3 times in the day. First time was after we woke up, started our day. I was making coffee or breakfast and checked on you.
How far had I gotten then?
You had crossed Bonn, but you were still in Stottlemyre. So I was like, okay, I know. I know which way he's headed. The last time I checked on you.
Last time, okay.
You were on Stottlemyre, but you had crossed Bonn back to our side of the highway. The second time I checked on you.
Oh, jeez. What was it?
You want to know where you...
Second time you checked on me.
You want to know where you popped up on the map the second time I checked on you?
Gavin
Place.
Again?
Again.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's strange that it does that. Why does it favor that road?
It's the only residential road on that side.
Maybe there's a tower there.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. That's
The GPS shows Ian as being on Gavin Place, which is part of the reason this child's name is Gavin. It's
the sign we took that his name should be Gavin. I mean, Sully also just said Gavin.
Right. Said Gavin.
When he was born.
And then the Monday after he was born, Ian was out for a run, and I popped up the map because I thought he should be on his way home soon. And his GPS little face showed him on Gavin Place. And he was not on Gavin Place. I know he was in the forest.
I've never been.
Because, took a few seconds, and then it went to actually where he was in the forest. But this now is the third time that Ian's GPS has shown up on Gavin Place. So I think that's the universe telling me that, yes, his name is really Gavin, because Gavin just came so out of nowhere for me that I was like,
on any of our lists.
that I'm like, you sure this is really his name? And
Yeah, you sure?
the world keeps having to tell me, yes, his name is Gavin. Like, just trust us. Just trust.
Just trust. It's Gavin.
It's Gavin.
Okay, good. Okay. So yeah, it's good to have your loved ones know you're okay and moving. You know, if I were to get in any trouble, I would have definitely used the phone. And it rang a few times that I was like, oh, I got to get the phone. No. I didn't keep it in my pockets either. I kept it in a backpack, you know, like away from me. And I'd hear it vibrating, and I'd go to unzip the zipper to get it, and I'd have to stop myself. Like, no, whatever it is, you're not going to get there quick. Until it's something that's impacting you, don't call in help. And I did, think about, if I twist an ankle or something like that, be somewhere close to the access. Like, don't go way west that you couldn't come in to get me or come to get me. Anyway.
So, your knowns.
So, I brought home a lot of notes, but I wanted to give the walk some foundation. You know, what foundation am I going to come away from this with? Like, I'll never forget.
Okay.
So it's my knowns. What are my knowns? They're probably yours too, but it's still something I think we don't talk about and we don't give credence to. What do you know? You know from all the lessons that you keep getting hit with, change is constant. Mm-hmm. That's my top known. Change is constant. The only constant is change. We, nod our heads to that. Yep, everything changes. Okay, well, what does that information do for us? It informs you. Change is coming. What are you going to do about change? You're going to adapt because you've done it before. And that's the second one is adaptations are necessary. Not that they're coming or that you're capable of them, but they're necessary. If you don't adapt, you die. Not you have a bad time of it. We have record of species of us that didn't adapt in some way. Might have been communication, might have been community, might have been tool making, whatever it is, didn't matter. Their adaptations didn't survive them. Right, cool for a species, but it's also your everyday life too. Even in this modernity that is not real problems. You need to adapt. There's AI now. It's not going to stop. You need to adapt. Just the same as typing on a laptop became the norm. The paper wasn't being used. The ink ribbons weren't being used. The typewriters weren't being used anymore. You had to adapt. You had to get onto a digital thing. I mean, even my 50-year-old mother, while she was a nurse, had to finally learn how to type because she had to input charts that way. It was over, You needed to adapt. You had to get out of the paper charts. So adaptations are necessary. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, there are those that do not wish to adapt. They don't want to. They want this is the way we've always done it. They want the easy way is my way, and the easy way is the way I know to be done. I don't want to do it the new way. I don't want to adapt.
Like a homeostasis. This is how it is, and this is how it's been, and this is how it's going to be.
Which is contrary to nature. Mm-hmm. You're in nature. Wherever you are. Even in the house. You're in nature. Our friend Kenny says, it's all natural. Everything. Even car batteries. I love that.
All right.
He's like, nuclear submarine. Totally natural.
Okay, what's your next known?
The adaptation isn't the end of the story. That's a lesson. That adaptation isn't just made and forgotten. It's a lesson that you need to repeat. If you learn how to use fire, or no, what's a better analogy? Okay, driving. You learned to drive. You're applying those lessons that you got from your dad, from your mom, from your instructor, way back when. You're applying those lessons. They're not gone. Mm-hmm. They may be second nature to you, but that's a lesson nonetheless. And they're lessons in adaptation. You put your body in a situation you've never been before. Pilot a car. The kids, I mean, I remember the first time I sat down in a driver's seat. I was finally there, so excited. Then I was immediately terrified. Like, oh my gosh, the brakes don't work the way I thought. Oh my gosh, the gas is touchier than I thought. So we know adaptation is necessary. We know we learn lessons in order to apply them towards that adaptation. And what lesson do you want to learn next? What do you do with this human that you're piloting that is capable of adaptation and applying lessons? What lesson do you want to learn next? If you're not sure, regret is the answer key. I regret not going to college and learning to play guitar. I really should have done that when I was younger. Whoa. You really should do that tomorrow. Mm. You're regretting it. You're still remembering how many years ago, when you could have become a guitar player, you're alive. You can do it. You can learn to drive a race car. You can do those things. And those regrets have stuck around for some reason. Why would you have wasted your time and energy or memory or neurons or words to even recreate a regret? It's useless unless you do something with it. So, regret is the answer key. What do I do with this human that's able to adapt, learn, and keep lessons? I apply it to my regrets. I remove those regrets. That's when you've got a life that is #no regrets. They have a reason.
Yeah, and you're using that as your potential.
Mm-hmm. You're right for what's next. What's next? You're alive. You're here. You're moving forward in time. What does that look like? Your future self is one you can create. You can manifest it. You have superhuman abilities to manifest what you dream into reality. But you need help. And that's the other known. My last known is, well, I'm sure I've got a lot more, but in what I wrote down, relationship aids in lesson learning and adaptation. That's the boost. That's the, okay, I'm not a good lesson learner. I'm not that good at adaptation. Well, relationship is where you can get other lessons and adaptations. You receive them from that person relating to you.
And receive their reflection of, this is what you said, this is what you're saying, but this is what I'm hearing,
And seeing.
And seeing.
Yeah,
you say you're going to do this, but I don't see you.
Mm-hmm.
You say you want this, but you're not doing anything that's working towards that. It is really easy to say that we're going to do things. I liken it to the options on Facebook for events.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Going, no, or maybe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or
interested.
Or interested. And like,
interested.
Oh yeah, I'm interested. I'm a maybe. It's like your words you can be the same way with. You're like, yeah, I'm doing that thing.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna.
But you're not committing.
I'm gonna.
You're not saying no, and you're not saying, yes, I'm doing this thing. It's like, we'll see. Yeah. Like, I want to walk across the Camino.
Mm.
Well, what are you doing to actually get yourself there?
Mm-hmm. I'm working a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I'm saving up money. Are you? How much money? When are you going to do it? When is the money saved?
How
Yeah,
far?
yeah.
What's the furthest you've ever walked?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Are you
What are you
are you
preparing?
are you walking every day?
So there's a relationship. Yeah. There's someone saying, well, that's reminding them that they are capable of adaptation and lessons.
Uh-huh.
But they can also say, oh, I did it. This is how I afforded it. This is how I did it. This is where you should go. This is what the problems I encountered and the ones you don't need to anymore.
And if you are committed to that adaptation, if you're committed to the goal and you know other people have done it before, you can find the person with the circumstances the most similar to yours and use that experience for the adaptations you need to make. You can draw that from 10 different people, right? You're like, well, this person has the same type of job as me, and this person has 3 kids like me, and this person loves running, but not, you know.
This is in Colin's book, The Boy Who Would Be King. Remember, it's nothing. There's nothing more inspirational than the beauty of one person, the work ethic of another. The what else? It's when you see the other people. That's the sign that you can.
Yeah, when
They did too.
When I am the witness of someone doing something well, as the witness, that is the example to me of what I'm capable of. If I want to make the adaptation.
Right. It's demonstrative. That relationship you've now formed demonstrates to you. You didn't need to know it. You just needed to see it. So seeing it in another person, fostering relationships. That's how to move faster through time, your perceived future self's time, till it's real, is a relationship. So my knowns. Now you've heard all these things, listener person, and you're like, yeah. Well, now this is the 12-hour walk coming in. You have to take action. But it's hard, says Rini. All of it is hard. It is hard. That was as difficult in the end for me as the 50-miler was.
For you,
For me.
the 12-hour walk was as challenging as a 17-hour 50-mile run.
Well, now when you put it that way, it had similar challenges. I would say the volume was lower. There was lots of optimism in the beginning, lots of satisfaction in the middle, and then it was grit. So I got to my midpoint, and I had done it in such a way that my midpoint was the furthest away that I was. So I forced myself into the situation that you will take another 6 hours to get home. So at the midpoint, as I'm looking at, my inventory of sore legs, low water, no food, I'm like, oh, this is going to be challenging. This is going to be something. So I had to fill water from streams. I had to take a lot of breaks. And I fortunately had forgot that I had the apple. So that was at least a snack that I could, be optimistic about. And oh my gosh, the thoughts of food that were going through my head in the dark, like cold. By the end, I was nice and warm in just a hoodie, even though it was raining again. I had a flow state for sure. I had a pace. I had a rhythm. I didn't even whip out my headlamp. I just stayed in this keep going pace, and walked continuously after. Let's see, where did I take a break? Just before leaving the forest, I took a break.
Okay.
But then after leaving I only stopped for the crossing at Bond.
So that was about 4 miles. So around an hour of just gotta get home.
Mm-hmm. The last 2 hours was like no stop. No stop. I'm good. Head forward, going home. And there are no notes from that time period. It is just... Actually, I think there's like 2. Oh my gosh, there are notes, but I can't even read them. 12-hour walk. It's a walking meditation, and one that I think is a really good lever to put you in the state that you mean to get to when you're doing it, which is a reduced signal.
I really like what you said at the beginning was just you're getting reacquainted with yourself without any, I mean,
no signals, no other signals
the
except the one
only
yours.
signal is the one, and we could go into a whole long discussion of, is that you, the voice? But that's another conversation.
I'll do it again. I'll definitely do it again. I think it's a tool. It was wonderful, and it's accessible.
I plan to do it at some point. It's just
The guy that's drew.
yeah, gonna take some time, and I'm not in any rush. Like I don't feel that it's necessary.
I read the book a year ago.
Yeah.
I put it down and said, I'm going to do it. And I haven't done it. And when the opportunity came, it's been on my list of spiritual things to do. Spiritual to-do list? I have a spiritual to-do list.
I also have a spiritual to-do list. One of those is meditate every day. And this morning, when I woke up, this boy was hungry, and I was like, my alarm's going to go off in 40 minutes anyway. There's no point in me falling back to sleep. I did a meditation. I did 2 meditations. Because the first one ended, and I was like, I just want to lay in this comfy bed.
I have a assertment. Assertment?
Assertation?
Assertation. Assertment. That's fun. That what you're doing are not meditations.
Oh, yeah.
They're guided.
Yeah.
They're guided. I don't know, something. Okay, and I say the same thing. I did a meditation.
We're getting off topic too.
Yeah, we are. That's a tangent. Meditation tangent. We'll come back to meditation someday. But I believe
what you did.
a meditation is as reduced signal input as possible. And I'm even curious to one day clear out a closet and be in it for 12 hours. Like just zero signal. As zero as you can get signal.
Have you heard about the darkness retreats?
Yeah, it's like 3 days that you're wearing covers, but someone's helping you, and they're bringing you food, and the bathroom's really accessible. I saw someone that went into a cabin, and it was
darkness retreat.
They were maintained for 3 days. 3 days they've had their eyes covered. And he comes out of it, and he's like, he's just beside himself with joy that this is the world he gets to come back into, because he was deprived of it for 3 days. And he's like, and all this, and I'm totally sober. And I thought that was, sounds good to me. I'll do it one day.
Okay.
Maybe we'll lead a retreat that is that. I would love to facilitate that for someone.
Okay.
That would be amazing.
We got a lot of ideas.
I want to do that. 12-hour walk, Colin O'Brady. Dive into it. Do it. If you want me to come with you, no. You're not supposed to. You go alone. Oh, that's what I was going to do. I was going to give the rules. Do I need to train for the 12-hour walk? I mean, it's physically exerting. Like, I am sore from it. I should have stretched for it. I should have, stretched more in it and taken more breaks. It's going to be quite a few calories, so bring some more. What are important safety essentials? I mean, you're going to be on the side of the road, so I wore a reflector, I had a headlamp, and then I got off the road as quickly as possible. Don't be on the road. It's just not a good idea for 12 hours. Do I have to leave from my house, or can I walk from somewhere else? I think I covered that. You should leave from your front house, but if you're just going to be stuck in, noise and stimulus, maybe you should go somewhere else. Can I walk in a city with noise? Should I carry a backpack or bag? Yes, and fill it. Fill it with a bunch of stuff. More water than you think. More food than you think.
Fill it. Take the necessary items. Take enough water. Take enough food. You don't need to fill anything.
What's the best footwear for the 12-hour walk? I wear something I could stomp in a puddle with, and my foot would be fine for it. But in the end, I should have wore my trail running shoes that I could stomp in a puddle and it drains. I think
the comfort of your feet is probably the most important. So,
what nutrition? I mean, bring what you know you eat. Bring what you eat the most. Where do I go to the bathroom? I mean, I went in the forest. If you're opposed to that, find a bathroom. Can I walk with someone else? No. Can I bring my dog? No. Is a 12-hour walk something I can do more than once? Absolutely. There. Frequently asked questions. On the 12hourwalk.com.
if you think it's something that you should do, go do it.
Mm-hmm.
If you need guidance to get there, talk to us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe you need someone to hold your baby. Julie baby. Oh, jeez. Wait. Don't go. If you found value in this episode, please subscribe and share via review or post how this episode complemented your life.
Thank you for listening. Connect with us on Instagram or Facebook at Memory Millionaires. Be well.